Physics again. Physics background. Physics background 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's say if you are to say you are a mediocre physics professor, and then tomorrow you have to give a lecture to 1,000 physics PhD students from all over the world. Right? Top PhD students from all over the world. You have to give a lecture. So, would you feel honored or you'd be nervous? Why nervous? Why nervous? Because amongst these people who are going to listen to your lecture, they are going to be the future Nobel laureates there. Right? Very bright ones. They can ask any question. Right? So therefore, you are nervous. But in place of you, if Albert Einstein is given the job, will he feel nervous? No, not at all. Look at this, my cup of tea. Right? He feels so easy, right? Okay. So which means that there's no fear in Albert Einstein or Stephen Hawking or who else, right? Now the point is Niels Bohr. So now the point is that even though they don't have the fear, but it doesn't mean that they have an infinite happiness. You getting it? Infinite happiness. Infinite happiness is the another area. If you want the infinite happiness, then we have to look for its cause. Again, infinite happiness also results in the cause. What's the cause? Unconditional love. So what I'm saying is I'm given like a say the formula. So your job is to evaluate this. Don't believe in them blindly. Just evaluate. Okay. All the studies are meant for us to evaluate these two basic premises. That ignorance is the cause of all the miseries, all the fears. Get rid of ignorance, all your miseries will be gotten rid of. And the unconditional love towards all others is the source of infinite happiness. Embrace it if you want the maximum happiness. This is the thing. So with this in mind, the Buddha summarized all his teachings in one stanza. Buddha summarized all his teachings in one stanza, where he said that commit no evils, accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible, tame your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. This is beautiful, right? This can be understood by class 3 student. This can be understood by a college student, university student, a professor, and a highly evolved being on different levels. The same teaching, right? Okay, let me say this again. Commit no evils. It's just one stanza. Commit no evils. Number 2, accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Tame your mind. Tame your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. It's an amazing summary of all the sophisticated teachings of the Buddha. Okay. So what is the first line? Commit no evils. Why I should not commit any evil? Why? Simply because I follow the Buddha? No. Do those things to fulfill your wish. What are your wishes? 2 wishes. To get rid of all my fears and to get the maximum happiness. This is the goal, ultimate goal of my life. Ultimate goals of my life. Now, if you want to get rid of all the miseries are caused by the evils that you commit. Evils that you commit. If you don't want the miseries, don't engage in evil acts. Right? Commit no evils if you don't want miseries. Okay, what is number 2? Accumulate as great wealth of virtues. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues. And you don't want miseries. What do you want then? I want infinite happiness. Infinite happiness is because of the wealth of the virtue of unconditional love. Unconditional love. Right? Infinite maximum happiness is the result of the maximum virtues. And maximum virtues will come to you through unconditional love. With unconditional love, everything will happen to you. For example, say, a mother or father who was not really good in science when in school, but to teach the child, they will learn, right? Although they thought that now I'm free from science, they're not free from science. When they have the children, to teach the children this, right? They have to also learn it. I see that the parents are still learning mathematics, science for the children. Because of love. Because of love, you learn all these things. So with love and affection, you see that you will acquire all the wealth of virtues. You do everything good. You will not do bad things. With unconditional love towards others, you will do all good things. So good things that you do are known as the virtues. It is through accumulated virtues, which is the main secret. Main secret, the secret of virtues, accumulated of the virtues, is the unconditional love. When you have the unconditional love, all virtues ultimately come to your hand. So that unconditional love, with the practice of that, it will attract the infinite happiness. Okay, verse number 3. Tame your mind, right? Okay, so what is it? What is your tendency now? So what it says is that, say, miseries we don't want is because of the evils. And how prone are we to do evils? How prone are we to do evils? Right? May not necessarily be, I want to kill my neighbor, I want to do like this, not necessarily like this, but if the neighbor shouts at you, what is your reaction? Oh, I love you. Or, how dare you talk like this? How do you think that I'm your son? Right? This is our reaction. This is evil that hurts others, the others' minds. So our mind is so prone to engage in evils. So which means that our mind, if we stop all these evils, even these people, your neighbors, will become your friends. Your neighbor will start appreciating you, right? But evil make the split and make the divide, and then there's always the feeling of the stress and dissension between the two of us. So because of this evil. So this evil, how difficult it is to get rid of this evil thought. Very easy. Okay, we went to the Kippus for the emptiness. Now from tomorrow onward, no evil. No, it's very difficult. To get rid of evil is very difficult because evil is the behavior of a mind. It has become like a behavior of a mind. A mind has become like so tuned to doing evil things, evil thoughts. So, how to do it? You have to control this. You have to tame your mind. You have to tame your mind to how not to engage in the evil acts. One. And how to tame your mind? Be good. How to tame your mind? Be good. Yes, I try to do good, but it doesn't happen. No, be good. This doesn't help. You getting it? This is usually how people tell you. And okay, I try to do good, but it doesn't. No, be good. Right? You're behaving so bad, be good. But I tried, it's not happening. No, be good. You are not showing the path. No, I'm not showing how to be good. Right? So that to be good has various levels, various degrees. Various degrees to be good is a thought process. It is various degrees. Because it is various degrees, there are various degrees of thought processes. Very gross to the subtle. You're getting it? Unless we learn how to deal with all these levels of the thought processes, wrong thought processes, right? We will never learn how to be good. What the world, ordinary people consider as good, that's fine, right? But funny, what you want is what? I want to be free from suffering 100%, not just temporary suffering. Right? I want to get rid of suffering altogether, completely. For that matter, what should I do? I should get rid of all the evil thoughts, from all the subtleties. I have to get rid of all these things. For that, I have to know how the evil thoughts operate on the subtle levels. So this is where we don't know. And the parents, okay, the parents are there. So just see whether what I'm telling you is right or wrong, right? Parents say, hey, my son, you have to study. Now the exam is approaching, you have to study. The son, but I read this, but I don't understand it, teach it. Right? And the parents, if you don't know science, how will I teach? Right? Hey, you have to study it, but I don't know, please teach me. You don't know. So therefore the point is that how to be good? You should know how to teach how to be good. You getting it? These are all the thought processes. And these thought processes, we learn that these thought processes, to go more into technical part, cognitive thought processes and the affective thought processes. Cognitive thought processes and the affective thought processes. All this affective thought process meaning, I like chocolate, okay, I don't want to study, right? Okay, I want to stay for another 10 minutes extra, right? Okay, 10 minutes, let me stay another 10 minutes. These are all the affective sides, right? Okay, affective sides. And these affective sides, they're all governed by the cognitive thought processes. Cognitive thought process, right? How your mind thinking, cognitive thought processes. So now, unless you deal with the cognitive thought processes, dealing with the affective thought processes to change your habits is very difficult. It's very difficult. You're getting it? So therefore the point is, the study of emptiness now, what is happening is so precious. So therefore the point is, how to get rid of all the evils is by taming your mind. How to tame the mind? By changing the thought, by changing the affective thought processes. How to change the affective thought processes? By changing the cognitive thought processes. You're getting it? All these complicated matters all come into this one single line. Tame your mind. Which seems so simple, but deep inside is all these sophistications, beautiful sophistications are there in this. Then the second one. If you want infinite happiness, what should we be doing? We should embrace the wealth of virtues. How to embrace the wealth of the virtues? Well, the virtues, just embrace the unconditional love, you will embrace all the virtues. How to embrace this? How is our mind? How does our mind behave? Does the mind behave with unconditional love? Somebody said, what a stupid guy, you went to waste your weekend. You went to waste your weekend in what? Kippur's yeah? For what emptiness? What a stupid thing. Then what is your, oh no, still I love you? Is this your reaction? Or, how dare you talk like this? What is your reaction? How dare you talk like this? You right? Embracing is not happening. Right? This is our habit of mind. Now, we have to undo this habit. How to undo this habit? How to embrace the wealth of virtues? How to embrace the wealth of virtues? Again, tame your mind. Right? Commit no evils by taming your mind. Accumulate great wealth of virtues through taming your mind. How to tame the mind? Again, embracing. Despite, the mother, the child says, mother, you are just a stupid mother. Right? Mother, how dare you say like this? I'll sue you. Will the mother say like this? Mother will never say like this. Mother will say, small child. Yes, I love you. What do you want? You chocolate or what do you want? Right? This is how the mother treats you. So this is how amazing. If we can adopt this thinking, your mind is never irritated. So this is through accumulating great wealth of virtues. That your mind is not affected. This is so precious. Okay. So now the point is that tame your mind. Tame your mind seems so simple line. Tame your mind, right? Oh, just control your mind. Just control your mind. Just tame your mind. Seems very simple. But if your child complains that I cannot tame my mind, how do you do it? Most people will say, no, tame your mind. Right? How? I don't know how to do it. I cannot do it. It's not, no, I try to do it and it comes. Do it. This doesn't help. So finally, there are two things happening there. What are there? Affective thought processes and the cognitive thought processes are there. Affective thought processes are how your mind moves towards the bad habits. How our mind moves towards committing evils. How our mind moves towards not getting virtues. This is our habit. Now, how to get rid of these habits? Knowing that these habits come from the cognitive processes, cognitive thought processes, right? Change the cognitive thought processes. How to change cognitive thought processes? All style cognitive thought processes sees things like this. Sees things like this, right? For example, okay, let's say, so just say cognitive, say, how many of you are afraid in this hall at the moment, right now? How many of you are afraid? You're not afraid. Imagine that I ask you to, okay, don't close your eyes. I ask you to close your eyes for, say, 20 seconds. Then I close your eyes for 20 seconds, and then open your eyes. Then you see that everybody disappears. Everybody disappears. What is your emotional reaction? Wow, I'm so lucky now this hall is for by myself. Or scared. What is your reaction? Scared. You know? So this feeling of fear, that is a cognitive, this is the affective thought process of your mind. This affective thought process of mind is because of the cognitive thought process, we see that cognitive thought process, we see that there's no one around me. Right? That is the cognitive thought process. That cognitive thought process, earlier there used to be so many people, 10, 20 seconds ago, there are so many people around with me. Now, none of them are there. This is the cognitive thought process. That triggers the affective thought process. You getting it? So how? The affective thought processes, how to tame the affective thought processes is through taming the cognitive thought process. This is so precious. This is where the sophistication of the Buddhist psychology is. And the philosophy, to look for the cognitive thought processes, we have to tackle the philosophy. To look at the affective thought process, we have to go to psychology. So this is how the psychology and the philosophy become intertwined. Okay, we'll stop here. Okay. Teyata om gati gati paragati parasangati bodhisvatyata om gati gati paragati parasamgati bodhisvatyata om gati gati paragati parasamgati bodhisvatyata. Okay, we will do a quick direction prayer, which is the blue book, the same blue book. Page 308. Page 308. And to the best you can, so see if you can interrelate or correlate with what we've learned thus far with the prayers being which we're going to recite, rather than reciting these prayers just out of say out of ritual, not out of ritual, but out of the meaning. Okay. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chandra is the Tenzin Gyatso. Please remain until samsara ends. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into their enlightened state. May the Supreme Bodhicitta that is not erased arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the three times, and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the four wheels of the Mahana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the two stages. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I judge the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. The path of union of emptiness and compassion is lucidly explained by the protector of the Dharma and the beings of the snowland. You are the lotus of the Tenzin Gyatso. We supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans or non-humans who help our matters through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of the three jewels. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by Ramanjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings of dependent origination in particular, even in the cosmic life. Okay, a quick announcement that I hope many of you already know about this book. This book is, the title is Science and Philosophy in the Buddhist, in the Indian Buddhist classics. the volume 1. This is actually the initiative taken by, started by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In fact, he segregates Buddhism into 3 categories, 2 groups: Buddhist science, Buddhist philosophy, and Buddhist practice, 3 things. So what he says is that Buddhist practice, this is just individual business. Anybody who wants to practice the Buddhism, the individual business is it has nothing to do with, it has nothing to do with the masses. Whereas the first and second, Buddhist psychology, Buddhist science, Buddhist philosophy, particularly Buddhist science. So that part is all says is that this is something like a treasure of the world. So just as, for example, say the quantum physics, like the neuroscience, and say many of the Jewish, say the people are involved in contributing to quantum physics, neuroscience. Likewise, say the Christian fathers were also involved in the contribution to genetic science and so forth. And likewise, the great Hindu the philosophers and mathematicians. So likewise, the Buddhist science, this is something which is a great, say a treasure of the world, in the secular world. It has nothing to do with the spirituality, it's nothing to do with the religion, it's nothing to do with the, the personal practice. So this is wants to the initiative, and because I think it was in 2000, 2009, 2009, more precise 2009, the first idea was conceived by His Holiness in 2009, and then on that basis, say the Geshes, about like 60 Geshes were the top Geshes scholars from the Monastery universities. They are being selected, and to look for the sources, not from the Tibetan sources, but from the Buddha's sources, the Buddha's direct teachings of Buddha, also direct teachings of the Indian masters. From these sources, to take out the sections on the Buddhist science, of course with the table of contents, everything designed by a group of people, scholars, and then the 60 scholars were distributed the job on the basis of the topics. Then finally, all these were put together, and then from amongst the 60, again I think 6 or 7 very bright scholars were picked up to put them together, because they all are scattered materials. They were all put them together, 6 or 7. Then on that basis, and His Holiness was very closely supervising all these things, what was happening, table of contents, whether or not they're correct, anything missing. His Holiness, it was directly under supervision of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And so finally, this material came out in Tibetan and then translated into English. Even the translators, there are so many translators involved, the English translation. Of course, the materials gathered by very bright Tibetan scholars, very bright Tibetan Geshes. And then finally, they were translated into English by a group of English translators. And then this book came out. Okay, so this book is His Holiness's initiative, all financed by His Holiness, and with such an incredibly great vision of His Holiness. So this book came out, and this is just for a sample. His Holiness encourages people, if you really want to know about Buddhism, rather than going to the practice side. Practice part is individual, it's a personal choice. Nobody can force you, nobody can deprive you of that, force you that. So, but this one, if somebody learns this is going to be a treasure of the world, just as quantum physics is a treasure of the world, and the Christianity, the Judaism, Hinduism, and all these traditions, they have something to contribute to the world. From the Buddhist world, particularly about the mind, how the mind works, and how things, ontological reality, presentation, they were all incredibly great contribution to the legacy of the world. So this is the compilation of this book, and this is this book, and there's another book here by His Holiness. I'd like to donate to Dharma Friends of Israel for your library. Okay, so the point is that this book is now available in the markets, so those who are interested to know what exactly is Buddhist science, not just the There's some scholars writing about here and there, but very authentic sources from the Buddha's own teachings, from the Indian masters, very authentic Indian masters' teachings, not even from the Tibetan masters, right? Okay, so this is the, just I'd like to introduce this to you. Okay, let us make 3 prostrations now.